With a new season comes a flurry of new anime, and it can be hard sometimes to find some decent shows to watch. So today at DoubleDollars we will be counting down some of the must-watch anime for spring 2022. Winter was a great start to the year, so it'll be fascinating to see how spring follows that up, especially with the highly acclaimed animes like Demon Slayer, AOT, and Biscuit Doll dominating the anime community for the past 3 months. In this list, we won't be including any sequel seasons because if you haven't seen those, then it's very unlikely that you'll be interested. So instead, we'd like to shine some light on some of the newer adaptations and projects that would love to catch your attention. And before we begin, like always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. And without further ado, let's get right into the list. Starting at number 10, The Dawn of the Witch.
Yoshi, yurusu. Dewa, kouja!
The war that raged between the church and the witches for 5 centuries have finally ended in peace. But in the dark places of the world, the burning embers of that ancient conflict still burn brightly in people's hearts. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Wenius Royal Academy of Magic is a struggling student named Sable. For some reason, he has no recollection of his time before he enrolled. On the orders of Headmaster Albus, he left the realm to travel to the southern reaches of the continent, where the anti-magic insurgents still remain a force to be reckoned with. Sable is accompanied by a group of individuals strong in both ability and personality. One in particular known as the Witch of the Dawn, who seeks the forbidden knowledge of primordial magic of the Grimoire of Zero. For those looking for a fun fantasy anime with a thrilling mystery aspect, this sounds like the dawn of a good time. Number 9, Tomodachi Game. Yuichi Katagari has struggled financially all his life, but has learned to stay happy and positive thanks to his close circle of friends. To keep his promise to them, Yuichi saves enough money to join them on this school field trip. But when the collected money mysteriously disappears, suspicion falls on 2 of Yuichi's friends, Shiho Sawagari and Makoto Shibe, who were responsible for collecting the payments. Though innocent, the 2 take responsibility for not protecting the money when no one else shows up. A few days later, Yuichi and his friends receive mysterious letters that entice them to reunite. Upon arrival, they are ambushed and knocked unconscious, and they find themselves in a mysterious room in the presence of Manabuku, a character from a controversial children's series. They must participate in a series of games that will test the strength of their bonds. Now, Yuichi must figure out which of his friends can he truly trust, and ultimately uncover the identity of the traitor. Number 8, The Greatest Demon Lord is reborn as a typical nobody. As the most powerful entity of all time, Demon Lord Varvatos thinks that life is a hell of a drag. When he takes matters into his own hands and decides to be reincarnated, he calibrates his magic power to be perfectly average. Obviously, any isekai fan worth their salt knows where that leads you to: being overpowered. And to be fair, he actually is average in his world, but it's not exactly true in the modern world where he resides in now. Let's be real, how could he have predicted that everyone in the modern world would be as weak as hell? Which means he is, once again, sure to be not leading a normal life. In addition to all these annoyances, a former minion of his is now gunning for his head. Not one to give up though, the Demon Lord now takes under the name of Ard and decides to live the average life he's always wanted, no matter what it takes. Number 7, Summertime Render. After the death of his parents, Shinpei Aijiro lived with the Kofune sisters Miya and Ushio, but has since moved to Tokyo on his own. When Ushio drowns trying to save young Shiori, he returns home to mourn her sudden demise. However, the bruises around Ushio's neck cast doubt on the cause of death. Shinpei takes a step back convinced there must be another explanation behind this incident, and a sinister one at that. Shinpei is now sure something is wrong, and Ushio's death is just one piece of the puzzle. With the help of Mio and several others, Shinpei struggles to forge a future in which he, his friends, and his family can stay alive. But the more he investigates, the more impossible that future seems. As darkness invades his home island, to end the cycle, Shinpei must go through more pain than he's ever gone through before. Number 6, I'm quitting heroing. After saving the world, the strongest hero, Leo, becomes someone who is not wanted in the peaceful human world. For one thing, he was way too strong. So, without fanfare, he got exiled and decided to seek work in the Demon King's army, the very same army that he himself had just annihilated like a few weeks ago tops. The army had a lot of problems, a lot of which were already present before he was ever around as a hero. Leo begins to improve things using his power, and now he uses it to fix the various logistical issues that the army faced, which led to their defeat, again by his hands. However, upon meeting their leader, he finds out an unexpected side to the demon army, one that changes his views on them entirely. It's a pretty typical fantasy action story, but the novelty of a hero defecting is always fun to see. Number 5, Skeleton Knight in Another World. An unnamed male protagonist falls asleep at his computer while playing a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, only to find himself in the body of his avatar, outfitted with his strongest armor and weapon in the game. Unfortunately, Ark's appearance has also changed to that of a special skin bought by the protagonist, a spooky, scary skeleton man. Determined to become Ark in this new scenario, the protagonist sets out hoping not to draw attention to himself and help others as best as he can while finding a way to undo the unfortunate choice of appearance he had set for himself. It wouldn't do to get immediately murdered just because you happen to look like an Undertale character after all. Number 4, A Couple of Cukoos. Nagi Umino is a 17-year-old sophomore in high school who learns that he is not the biological son of the family that raised him. On his way to meet his birth family for the first time, he meets Erika, a popular internet celebrity trying to escape an arranged marriage. Nagi and Erika later find out that their parents had accidentally switched the two after their birth and were now aiming to get them to get into an engaged marriage to regain parenthood of their own biological children, while still being one family with their adopted children. To make this possible, they have to live in a house that belongs to the Erika family. Yes, it's a very wild premise. In fact, I bet some of you out there are already getting flashbacks to the like of Domestic Kanojo and Oreimo. With all this family drama going on, if you're expecting a train wreck, that's probably what you're gonna get. So why not get the popcorn ready and go wild on this ride of a rom-com? Number 3, Aharen-san wa Hakarenai. いくらなんでも取りすぎじゃね? Reina Aharen, a cute little soft-spoken student, is pretty bad at judging distance and personal space. Sometimes it's just inches from your face, and sometimes it's miles away. The only one trying to understand his antics is Raido Matsuboshi, who sits next to him in class. He has a menacing face, but he is actually a friendly boy with an imagination that can get out of hand at times. This adorable new slice-of-life comedy follows the very odd pair of dorks as their unlikely friendship begins to blossom. It all starts when Raido takes Aharen's eraser and gives it back to her when she drops it. Misunderstanding his gesture, now she believes that they're best friends. Raido, despite his stoic face, actually makes the simplest thing seem like the most complicated of events. These two socially awkward high schoolers now traverse their youth with a boundless sense of imagination and a lack of respect for each other's personal space. Number 2, Kawaii dake janai Shikimori-san.
最高にかっこいい。
Shikimori seems like the perfect girlfriend. Cute, funny, sweet when she wants to be. However, she has a cool dark side that shines in just the right circumstance. And her boyfriend Izumi loves to be there when that happens. Join these two on their rom-com misadventures where Izumi accidentally or intentionally ends up in situations where he gets to enjoy his girlfriend's badass mode. Similar to Takagi and Komi-san, this is one of those anime that really is hard to summarize past a few words. It's exactly what it says, and a lot of people enjoy that. There's of course a fun cast of side characters and a lot of lovey-dovey stuff, but it's a peak slice of life anime, and it's best to watch it with those expectations instead of a straightforward narrative. Either way, it's got a cute cast of interesting characters, and that's really all most slice of life anime needs. And finally, number 1, Spy X Family. As the top spy for West Tales, Twilight works tirelessly to prevent extremists from starting a war with neighboring Ostania. The agent is thus faced with the most difficult task of his career: getting married, having children, and playing family for an undercover mission. He adopts the humble orphan Anya to play the role of a 6-year-old daughter and would-be student at Eden Academy. As for his wife, he meets Yoru Breyer, an absent-minded office worker who needs a fake partner to impress her friends. However, Lloyd is not the only one with a hidden nature, as Yoru is secretly the deadly assassin Thorn Princess. For her, marrying Lloyd creates the perfect cover for her lifestyle. Meanwhile, Anya isn't the ordinary girl she seems, as she is an Esper, the product of secret experiments that allow her to read minds. Despite discovering her true identity, Anya is thrilled that her new parents are genius secret agents. Together, the three who desperately hide their identities from each other, but end up being a real family along the way. And that's the video. Did you like our list? If you did, make sure to leave a like and tell us about any other shows that you're excited for in spring. Also let us know what your favorite anime was in winter. And like always, I will see you in the next video.